Hello everyone, my name is Lauren with laurenteachesflute.com and welcome to today's video. So in today's video I want to talk about how to learn a piece quickly on the flute. So I'm going to get right into it. I think I'm going to do this video in two parts, but basically this is something that I did struggle with. I really took it upon myself to learn things very slowly and gradually work them up with the metronome, which is what I, was instructed to do. It's a great thing to do, but sometimes you really have to learn a piece quickly and just as quickly as possible. And so I'll be sharing with you exactly what I would do if I needed to learn it as quickly and efficiently as I possibly could. So here we go. I also want to say it's always a good idea. Listen to recordings if you can. Study the score if you can. It's always good to make recordings of yourself when you're practicing and playing or preparing different sections of the music. All those things are great. And let's go ahead and get into tip one. So I have like 4 tips today. Tip number 1 is divide the music into sections. So today's example is going to be page 5 of Chanterlino by Jolivet. I choose page 5, so let's say I have maybe a month to learn this piece. This is 7 pages long, and the first week I wanted to learn all 7 pages as best that I could, the best that I could learn them. So let's say day 1 I'm learning page 5. Yeah, I'm learning page 5 to start. Let's just say that. The first thing I would do is I would bracket out little sections. I don't know if you can see the brackets, but I put little brackets. Maybe bracketed sections are about 2 to 4 measures long here, but it's just, maybe a line of music at a time that you're bracketing out. But hopefully you can see some of the brackets that I marked. I marked them really lightly. So the second thing I would do after bracketing out the sections is I would do a rough playthrough of the entire page, and I would just get through it and I would get an idea of what sections I had the most trouble with and that seemed the most difficult to do. And I would choose, maybe if I want to learn the whole page in a day, I would do maybe 3 sections at a time. I would go take a break, do another 3 sections, go take a break, and whatever I need to do for that day from learning the whole page. Maybe you don't need to learn the whole page in a day, but let's say you wanted to learn 3 sections. That's fine. So pick the 3 most challenging sections for you for that day. Or whatever amount you wanted to learn. It could be more, it could be less, just whatever works for you, and budgeting your time and scheduling and learning the piece quickly, okay? So let's say I chose this top line as my first section that I wanted to work on. So that was, okay, I have 4 tips. Tip number 1 is divide the music into sections. Tip number 2 is select the sections you're going to work on for that day. And also in there is just do 1 rough playthrough of the whole thing to decide on what sections you're going to work on. Tip number 3 is start slow, but really remember to not stay there. I think this is where a lot of people get tripped up. They might want to learn the whole piece, however long it is, and they might be playing very large sections of the music, very large sections, not honing in on one little section at a time and polishing it and cleaning it up and allowing it to sound really clean and practiced and really confident on one little section, but they're just practicing bigger chunks of the piece and not really getting anything polished, but just kind of learning it all. So I feel like that keeps a lot of people stuck. So I would really recommend breaking the piece down into 2 to 4 measure sections. It can be more or less, because sometimes measures are really long and sometimes measures are really, really short. So use your best judgment. About a line of music can be one section. So I would practice it slowly. I can tell you that I have not looked at this in a very long time, so it's basically sight reading. So maybe I'll do this in eighth notes, and I will practice. I will just play it through at a slow tempo like this. If I needed to go slower, I would. And I might need to go slower, I don't know. Well, let's see. And that's a B flat, not a G flat. So those are all. Okay, so yeah, if you need to, if you notice you keep getting hung up on the same parts, or if I needed to, I would indicate that that's a B flat because it's very high. So if I keep getting tripped up on that, I might write any notes that I need to, but I can probably remember that that's a B flat. But don't be afraid to make marks in your music, and have a pencil on your stand and make marks where you need to. That's also very, very important. Okay, so after practicing it slowly, I would make sure that I'm at least able to play it slowly at least 3 times in a row. Maybe 5 times in a row is better, but I would play it slowly like that through at least 3 times in a row. And then I would move on to tip number 4. So the thing that I was stuck on in high school for a while was, it was for a period of time, like at a certain time in high school, I would start slow and I would gradually work up the tempo, which is normal, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is what I would do next. I wouldn't necessarily do that if I'm really wanting to learn this quickly. And it still works really well. You can still learn it really cleanly, really beautifully with this approach. So I'm calling it the fermata technique, but I'm gonna say like it's changing rhythms. It's tricking your fingers into playing it quickly. So I might start doing that by playing things like long, short, long, short, long, short, long, or short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. So I would start tricking my fingers into playing the passage quickly. So maybe I'll take a little part, I'll play long, short. And that's not really that fast, so I might make it more snappy so my fingers get a better reflex. Another thing I was noticing when I was just playing just then, and this is something you can be aware of as well, is my fingers weren't changing at the same time. So I might go back and forth on the first 2 notes or wherever that was happening, I think. But then, it might just be as simple as keeping your fingers close to the keys, having a really light touch, not grabbing the keys too hard. So light, delicate fingers, moving efficiently, not moving up and down. Pay attention to all those things while you're doing this. And maybe just, if there's a part where you hear a little bit of a clunky sound, go back and forth slowly on those 2 notes. So all good things to pay attention to while you're doing this. Then short, long. Yeah, and it sounds much better. Like I'm just remembering my finger technique. I was like, oh, okay, I was doing something a little interesting with my fingers when I started, but then just keeping them close to the keys, playing with a light touch seemed to fix it. So short, long, and then maybe you would do 2 notes at a time quickly. Trick your fingers into playing it quickly wherever you can. Maybe you can only stand the long, short for a while, but this is a good thing to get into. And you know, if you're well versed in scales and music and technique, you can start picking it up pretty quickly. So the fermata technique, if I'm going to use it right now, I still might not be able, like, I don't know this very well, but you know, I might do 2 notes at a time. But let me just see if I can do the fermata technique and show you what it would look like real time. So. That's what it would look like real time. But what I'm doing is I'm like studying the next notes ahead. When I'm playing the fermata, I'm studying the next few notes. And then when I'm ready, I go. And then when I need to stop and take a break, I hold another fermata. I study a few more notes while I'm holding it. And then I'll go forward, and then when I need to stop, I do another fermata. So that's what it looks like real time. And as you get to learn it, you can challenge yourself, like maybe on 2 beats, to see how many fermatas you need. Maybe I only need 1. Okay, and then you can start maybe challenging yourself a little bit more. Maybe I can get a little bit further. Yeah, so I got a little bit further. So I'm tricking my fingers. So you don't have to go this fast. If you're a beginner, you might just do long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Or you could reverse that, short, long, or you could go long, short, long, long, short, long. You can do baby steps, but you're kind of making it to where you're playing quickly when you're first starting to practice the music. So do that. I would set a timer as well. So set a timer for like, okay, I'm gonna do this long, short, slash fermata technique, or changing the rhythms to get my fingers to play it fast in small little bits that I can handle. I'm going to do this technique for about 10 minutes on this one passage. Set a timer and do your best. Then after that, I would go ahead and go back and play that passage slowly. Just like I did in the beginning, just to kind of iron it all out and spell it out for my fingers and my muscle memory. And then I would turn the metronome off, and I would see if I could just play it through naturally, like not forcing myself to do it slow, seeing if I can play it any faster than when I first started. So that's what I would do. I mean, that's the fermata technique is the thing that was like a game changer for me. I was like really being studious and like practicing really a lot of time. And then my teacher in college, it was like my first year of college, was like, you should be able to play more and learn this music quickly. And she told me about this fermata technique, and then I mean, it was a game changer. I was really holding myself back. I mean, it's great to start slow and gradually work your way up with the metronome. It's great, it's a good technique, but don't let it hold you back. You may be capable of more than you give yourself credit for, and that's what was the case in my situation when this technique was first introduced to me. So that's the video for today. I hope this was helpful to you and gives you some tips and new ideas on how to learn your music more quickly and efficiently. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials like this one. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you in another video very soon. Until next time, take care. Bye.